Welcome to this week's FIFA 12 Ultimate Team Tubecast.
Yes.
This is new. We are on a video. Well, not really.
We're changing platforms.
Yes.
That's all it is, really.
So what we're gonna do here? This is the new version of our podcast. A bit visual now, and we're gonna talk to you about this week's Team of the Week, only in more details. Is that correct, Rom?
That's the idea. We think, when we're talking about Team of the Week, people might actually want to know what the team of the week is. So, and what better way to do that than visually on YouTube?
To point our greasy fingers at images of the players.
This is our greasy finger, though. It's a mouse.
Freaky.
Yeah.
How do you do that? It's like magic.
It's called technology.
Absolutely. So, you know what? Let's get started. So, we have this week's Team of the Week.
We do.
For those who don't know, because now we're reaching to new audiences. This is exciting.
You think?
Yes.
Probably the same one.
I hope. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. But Team of the Week. Every week, 18 players released with increased stats based on weekend performance. And up for 1 week only to be found in packs, obviously. And then if you find one, you can have him forever. Or decide to strike it rich on the auction markets because those players will be very valuable. So that's pretty much it. Let's start with maybe the goalkeeping.
Number one.
Yeah. So we have Mr. Krul.
We do. Tim Krul, Newcastle star.
Yeah, so he's been actually doing really good the whole year. I've had a lot of people tweet me and ask me why he hasn't been in Team of the Week yet. So now we had a great game against Man U. I mean, it's a good team to have a good game against. It's the right decision. If you have to have one good game, only it's not his only good game. Proof is Newcastle's great ranking right now. So it was a draw away. I think Man U was a bit disappointed in some decisions or some.
The penalty.
Yeah.
And that, actually, fair enough. Rio Ferdinand tweeted effusively afterwards saying that was a fair challenge, as did, I think, just about everyone in the stadium, and nobody can really argue with that. But Newcastle deserved that draw because of the way they performed and because of the way that guy in particular performed between the sticks. Yeah, it was a very good show for them. As a Liverpool fan, I wish it wasn't. But,
And Newcastle is the new Arsenal. They have... Ben Arfa, Marot,
French players, you mean?
Yeah. It's like Aubertin. It's like a French diaspora, and I'm happy to see that. So the true followers of Genoa, as I call them, in Newcastle land. So that's cool right there. So we increased. If you look at the stats on the left, we increased his reflexes and diving by quite a lot. So it was a very good silver goalkeeper before, and we turned him into a quite decent goalkeeper. Now let's move on. Ooh.
Let's go to this guy.
Felipe Santana. So he's not a starter for Dortmund. So we're talking about the Bundesliga here. However, he was a big part of this weekend's Dortmund win 2-0. That's the Ruhr Derby. So one of the biggest, fiercest derby in Germany, and I'd argue
one of the biggest what? Sorry.
Derby.
What was the word used?
Fiercest,
right.
Sorry.
I just thought I'd clear that up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my German. It's not like that.
Can you do a German accent?
Ja, ich spreche Deutsch.
Can you speak German?
Ein bisschen. Okay, I'm French, so I had to learn. You never know. But, so basically Dortmund, Schalke is really it's the industrial derby, like two big industrial cities in the Ruhr, which is the region. And so a win for any of those two teams across this derby is just enough to justify having a good season. But Dortmund had more than that, in the balance. And now they're first. That's what they had in the balance. For the first time in the season, they came back to where they finished last year.
Yeah.
And so this guy here scored in a 2-0 win, and that's why he's here. So now let's go to the center.
Let's do that, shall we?
Mr. Naldo. And Naldo, another defender from Brazil playing in Germany. That's fashionable these days. He actually scored on a free kick.
Oh,
pretty cool. Was a big top level game again, just like the Dortmund one. So it was Bremen Stuttgart, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Look at that stat, though. We've got a bit of paper in front of us, by the way, with some
Yes.
stuff on it. And 95% completed passes for this chap. Well
Yep.
done, you.
Over 80% of tackles. I'd say that's also a very important one because he's a defender. So, but basically, he was impregnable and he scored. So what else can you ask? And that's why he finds himself. He was in form already before. For those who don't know, that means he was in Team of the Week already. So now there's yet another version of him because he's doing so good. We can't help it.
Yeah,
And
and he's got a cool name.
Yeah, Naldo, and he's 84 rating. So let's go to the right back position here. Mr. Valera, who you will see in the game in his regular version as a right midfield. So he played actually in right defense. You know, guys fitting in for injured players and suspended players. So that's what he did. And he did awesome. And he actually scored. And okay, you can argue it's not a lot and it's not maybe worthy of Team of the Week. Well, all of that happened against Barcelona.
If you score against Barcelona, you get in the Team of the Week. It's as simple as that.
That's what happens. At right back, when usually he's in right midfield. So, you know, it's kind of rewarding the performance of Getafe. And welcome to the Team of the Week, Mr. Valera.
Indeed. Now, here's one of my favourite players. Notice how I'm going between the players with my mouse because I don't want to cause any visual upsets. Do you think that's clever of me?
Yeah, it's weird.
Look, visual upsets. Look, that's what that is. If you go over that. Anyway,
I'm getting dizzy.
Sorry about that.
Lucas,
yeah. Now
his name is Lucas.
Yeah.
And he plays in midfield.
He does for Liverpool, and he's brilliant. People didn't used to think he was brilliant. Of course, he was widely
also I heard
detested, but then he just became better and better and better. And now he's a stalwart in the team. And of course, having watched him play Chelsea tonight, well done, boys. By the way,
tonight being.
It was the Carling Cup against Chelsea.
Yes, we are Tuesday here.
So we've done the double over Chelsea, and looking forward to doing the treble by the end of the season with any luck.
But we're talking about the game against Man City here. That's why.
But that doesn't count for this.
No.
And because especially since he got injured tonight, actually playing Chelsea. So this is him in the team as a mark of get well soon respect.
Right, and again for his performance against Man City.
Yeah.
But so you won't see him on the field. Hopefully not too long. But you will have him in a team of the week in FUT then.
Yeah,
that's a consolation. And so we did increase his defending. He's a great central defensive midfielder, and now he's even better at that.
Yeah, indeed. Well, good for you, Lucas, and many more times.
We're jumping the French guy and landing on.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, that was a bit crazy.
All right, I'll go to the French guy.
Acrobatics with a mouse. Whoa, things are coming up.
I know, visual confusion. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, can you say his name?
Morgan Amalfitano. Is that all right?
It's a bit of a tricky one. Amalfitano.
Oh, well,
yeah.
that's
Morgan
very well done.
Amalfitano. He played for Lorient last year. Played for Marseille. Some would say not as good as what he showed last year. But he had a great game against the leader, Paris. So, it's our Classico. I talk about Dortmund, Schalke. Well, there was Marseille, Paris as well. So it's kind of a made-up, heated rivalry. It's
made up?
Yeah, as in there's no a regional, like a geographical region for it. It's very distant cities.
Yeah.
And so basically it was the presidents in the 90s, Denisot versus Tapi, that decided to spice it up a bit. And just created this rivalry out of nothing. And now it's the biggest rivalry with, there's more cups than supporters at the stadium when that game happens. So it is big. And it's a 3-0 win for Marseille. It's huge. I mean, PSG was, leader before that. They are not anymore. We'll talk about it a bit later. So Amalfitano was a big part. He scored, assisted. And so that's why his shooting and passing increased. You can tell he's a very well-balanced player.
Yeah, he'll be a good one.
Now let's go to
let's go on to the guy I was trying to get to
Javi Garcia.
Yes.
Garcia. So he plays for Benfica. He plays in Portugal. So another derby Eterno, apparently that's how it's called. I don't know if I have the accent right, but it's of course the Benfica Porto derby, and he scored a winning goal, and he's in Team of the Week. So same thing as a defensive midfielder position. And great stats for him as well. You won't be able to pass him a lot if you play against him. So if we look
Oh, look,
at...
it didn't work.
Wah, wah.
There you go.
Pepe. Pepe.
Um,
It's not Pepe Le Pew, but it's Pepe, the Juventus player. Pepe Le Pew doesn't play football anymore. It just had trouble with his articulations, and his tail is getting in the way. It's very stinky.
Well, he's French.
Yeah, and actually Pepe Le Pew has the right colors to play for Juventus. The stripes of the skunk. Let's get back to Simone Pepe, who had a great game on the right wing. And actually, Juventus is first. So actually tonight they drew 3-3 at Napoli. But again, this game didn't count.
Yeah.
But wow, great stuff going on in Italy. And Juventus going back to the highest levels of the league there. It's good old days, the good old lady.
Indeed, yeah. Yes. And apparently he had a very good game all over the pitch. So
versus Lazio.
He's got a good engine, as they say. Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's move forward.
Which one would you like?
To the forward. Let's start with Mata. Why not?
Bosh. There you go. Needs no introduction, really, doesn't he? I like talking about Chelsea at the moment.
Yeah.
it makes me feel good.
Because they lose against Liverpool in games that don't count in here.
Yeah,
we should be mine. His position here on our team of the week is he's a left wing. We kind of put him in the middle. It's this, if it's not really super representative of. We have to put players in places when we create that team of the week. But obviously, when you acquire him, if you're lucky enough, you'll be able to put him at left wing and wherever he belongs. By the way, that's likely why the chemistry of that team here that we put together is fairly low.
Well, the chemistry is never very good, is it, for this?
Yeah, no.
Doesn't really fit into the whole.
No, we don't have a manager. We don't. It's the idea we put that team, present it to you guys as a team. The goal is not to make it the best team, though you can play it in the Team of the Week section of the console game. And as I said previously in what was called a podcast before, the good old days, eh?
It's not a podcast now, it's a tubecast.
Yes, a tubecast.
Tubecast. U-pod.
Mm-hmm. But so you can play that team, and actually the record of that team, because we keep track of that internally, is a winning one. So a lot of people are losing against that Team of the Week despite the low chemistry.
Really? They're winning more games than they're losing?
That team, yes.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. So Mata had a great game. I mean, Chelsea is a bit up and down right now. Villas-Boas coming under a lot of scrutiny. But that 3-0 win was pretty emphatic. And Mata had a great part in it.
Yeah.
And that's why he's in there as an 86 rated player. He scored from a volley, he passed, dribbled, he did pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can see the stats are pretty amazing. 89 dribbling, 86 pace.
Don't put him in defence.
Maybe not.
No,
that wouldn't be.
Apart from that, he's pretty good. Best player on the team, in fact.
Yep.
Even better than this guy. I'm going to go to Adebayor.
Adebayor.
Yeah.
Right. Strong start of the season. He's been scoring. So we've actually almost put him in Team of the Week, I think, last week. And now he's in. Another double. And Tottenham is the highest that they've been in quite a long time. They are third and possibly seconds.
Game in hand. Yeah.
9 wins, 1 draw, 2 defeats. That's much better than, 2 seasons ago when they lost their first 6 or 7. And so that's the opposite start. And he's a big part of it. Obviously, we've had Bale already. We know the big names of the team. So, Adebayor is having a really good time coming back into the EPL.
Absolutely. I can't remember who it was that was complaining about him, actually. Was it Arsene Wenger? Was complaining about the fact that Adebayor can score against everybody apart from Manchester City, who are obviously leading the Premier League, which doesn't seem particularly fair. I can see that point. I'm not sure if it was Wenger or not, so I apologise if I'm wrong about that. It was a Premier League manager anyway that I was reading about, and you've got to sympathise a bit because he's doing rather well at the moment.
Scoring, I'm pretty sure he would score against everyone if he could.
Yes, well, I'm sure that's his aim.
So before we go to the bench, we're missing one.
I'm going to leave you to say his name.
Yes, Aaron Derdiak.
Well done, very good.
We have no idea if it's the right pronunciation. He's a Turkish international, but he plays for he's a Swiss international. He's one of those Swiss players that have Turkish parents or family. That's why I get confused. But he plays for Bayer Leverkusen. Okay. Yes. He scored a hat-trick.
Did he?
Yes.
And that's about it then?
Yep. So basically it's the comeback hat-trick. They were down and they finished with a win. Leverkusen is right now sixth in the league. They finished second last year, so they have some ground to catch up to catch up to the result that they achieved last year. But obviously, if the Swiss Swiss international is in form like that for the rest of the season, that should make the task a bit easier.
Yeah, well, if he carries on that way, they'll be all right. What would be a conjunction of the words Swiss and Turkish? Swerkish. Twish. Twist.
Oh.
No?
Possibly. Well,
it's probably offensive, isn't it?
I was thinking.
I was just trying to be efficient. That's all. Anyway, but that's our.
Nice,
that's
nicely done.
Thank you. Moving on. That's our first team. Now, before we move on to the subs bench, because obviously there's always a subs bench, you've got something to talk about, I believe.
Yeah, I wanted to give us a quick, small update about what's going on in terms of, in terms of the game, in terms of possibly, some of the issues we've had, some of the events. So, we're very happy to introduce Messi to all of you guys. Last week we have a lot of things around that we did. And was also excited that he's becoming the face of EA Sports and FIFA and Ultimate Team and everything. Everything we do is kind of Messi stamped now.
It will. Although we had a lot of stuff last week to talk about around Messi.
Yeah.
Just to say that's about it now for Messi. Just in case you were getting a bit overloaded with the Leo goodness. Well, we'll be holding off on that a little bit until we get a bit closer to the release of FIFA Street, where the good man will get a bit more active again.
Yes.
But he is a very nice guy. We've discovered he's so helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wish he'd come around here. We can see him and get signed jerseys and stuff. We are the last guys here to get those stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
They get intercepted along the way, and in the dev studio here, we don't get much of that. But it's okay.
Oh well,
we have a good job.
The problem is it goes through the marketing guys.
They're the ones who steal everything.
Yeah, and the next thing you know about it, it's framed and on someone's office wall. It's like, oh, right, when did that happen? Well, that's nice, isn't it? You're the one who does all the work.
You get invited and you're like, hey, what's in your bathroom?
Yeah.
What kind of jersey did I clean myself with? That was weird. Okay.
Anyway, it's very good, isn't it, that he's on board with us. And it's as a fan of the game, it's quite cool to
It's excellent. Know. It's the best player in the world, and he's with the best game in the world. Makes a lot of sense.
We think.
But having said so, it's not because we're very excited and we're having all those events that we're forgetting about some of the things that are happening out there that some of you are still encountering, namely the disconnect at the end of game. So we're still working on reproducing that. We believe we know what call is failing. To repeat, we believe it's router specific. Router. Every time I say it, no one can understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So those boxes that are behind the TV that
with wires in them.
So that some of them will create a problem. We know that. So before we come out with a very definite list and ways that you guys can, or we can help fix it.
Yeah.
We really want to get around the problem and test it some more. And I know it's frustrating because it's taking a while. We just have a lot of testing to do. We also have the squad update out. So on that front, there was a squad update, so released in FUT only, that had changes in skill moves. Well, that wasn't intended. So we'll have more info on that, mostly in the forums. We're just putting together a little list of what's happening. We're testing the new updates, Soul's skill move updates. So it's for all you guys to know that we noticed that. Usually we don't do updates in FUT, that's why it's a bit of a rusting mechanism.
Yeah.
And this is going to be addressed. So if you spend big coins on a 5-star dribbler, like a right back in Brazil, he's going to come back to his 5-star in case he moved during this update.
Yeah,
it wasn't intended.
Sit tight.
Yes.
he may be a bit less than you thought he was, but he will go back.
He will.
Don't worry about it. Cool.
So let's go back. That was my update. So we're looking at the disconnect issue, and the squad update will be without skill moves. As soon as we can put it out, by the time you hear it, it's likely going to be already the right one out. Let's go through the subs, shall we?
Let's go through the subs.
Who's there? They are hiding under.
There
they are.
Who's this?
We're starting with the goalkeeper.
Oh.
It looks like he's very young. He plays in Korea. And he's becoming a top bronze. Look at his reflexes. He actually saved 2 penalties in the game.
Well, that would be because of his good reflexes, wouldn't it?
Done.
Excellent. Who's next?
A Canadian player. Woo! Canadian player, eh?
Wow, they exist?
They do. One of them in Burnley. He scored twice. Comeback win. So, okay, it's a 3-2 win. So you would argue that the defense was maybe not fantastic. But, you know, it did make up for them by scoring 2 goals.
Burnley's defence was fantastic in the form of Mr. Edgar, who scored.
Yes. Exactly.
So there you go.
From Spain, Alberto Costa, who actually...
He's very sweaty.
Well, yeah, that's a picture. That's not a picture from this weekend, but it could be because he did sweat a lot.
He's a hard worker, clearly.
Yes, he scored a goal.
Oh, he's just had a shower. In which case, how did we get that picture? That's a little bit disturbing. I think we should talk to our licensing guys.
Yeah,
do you think maybe I'm digressing a little bit?
Do you think he showers with his jersey on, though? Because that's what it seems to be here. That's what would disturb me the most.
Well, you know, hey, if I played for Valencia, I'd be proud of the shirt, and I might not take it off either. Yeah.
Ever.
Sorry, what were you going to say about him before I went off on a little bit of a tangent?
He's a very well-rounded player, as you can see. And so we increased his shooting because he scored. And so now you got a very well-rounded and good shooter, offensive midfielder for Valencia, Mr. Costa.
Excellent.
And here we got a player from the Mexican League. The team is Monarcas. Hence the M on the logo, I guess. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
What, next to the L?
I thought it was Muchachos. No, that's just being disrespectful.
Yeah,
I don't speak Spanish, so for me it's as far as I'm going to go in terms of Spanish. And no more Cerveza for me, please.
Okay.
And so as left midfield, he scored.
Sorry, we're still talking about him. Go back.
And a great game. So he's becoming a top silver just because of his great mix of skills and passing and shooting.
Do you know, I'd just like to point something out here.
Yes.
You may have noticed that I'm not contributing so much to the content of this podcast anymore, but now I'm pointing out something. So, shower, hairdryer. Shower, hairdryer. I wonder what's next. What do you reckon?
What is next? Let me try and see. The guy without hair.
Almost. See.
Almost.
He's had too much hairdryer, hasn't he?
Yeah, and then it's all burned off.
Yeah. Anyway.
Mr. Karadin, so he plays in the Russian league, Russian Premier League, and he was the player of the week there. He scored against Dynamo Moscow.
That's it. Oh, look at that.
Mr. Hooper.
He's English.
Gary Hooper, and he plays for Celtic. So someone had a hat trick, and that would be him.
He is
English,
English, isn't he?
over the weekend,
Yeah.
And which increases shooting by quite a fair bit. So now he's actually becoming a hot commodity if you're building a Scottish Premier League team, a Celtic team, or even, I'd argue, a team with English players.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Not half bad. Now, what's this all about? There's a blank.
There is an empty slot on the bench.
It's almost as if there's, someone in the shower or using their hairdryer and stuff, but it's been censored.
Or basically they're in the bathroom and they're not back yet in time for Team of the Week.
Right, could be.
So basically,
what's this all about?
So what happens? This team is actually what we're showing you here is a team that we internally create. Using tools. So we have magic tools that's where we can grant ourselves players. And we use that to create the team you can play against, as I mentioned before, in the Team of the Week option.
The team that wins more than it loses.
That's how we do it. We create a team. You can see it through FUT Web, actually. esportfootball.com, Ultimate Team option. So that's exactly what you see, and that's exactly what we do. We share that link. That's the one you see, and then it goes into the game. So we have some functionality. However, as soon as the team is complete, bam, it appears in game.
Yeah.
Magic.
But you can see it on the web.
For the team to be complete, you need to have 7 players on the bench. So by not putting one of the players on the bench and in reserve instead, the team is still hidden. Because right now we're Tuesday evening and we don't want the team to be out just yet.
No, you can see it on the web app like we're doing right now. But you don't want to play it in the game yet.
So it's just an artifact. It's just a little workaround. So that's it's not in a... And at 10 a.m. on the local time here, which is 6 p.m. in the UK, bim, we'll move Mr. Giroud on a subs bench and the team will magically appear.
Nice. And that's how it works.
And that's how it works. So Giroud, Olivier Giroud, French player,
Another French player?
Yes.
And only one English player? Is it only one English player? Yeah, it's only one English player. I'm not even sure if he's English. He plays for Celtic. I'm feeling a bit nervous about that. There's an England flag there, obviously, but I'm going to check that afterwards. Anyway,
of course, feel free. And so Giroud, definitely French, and actually he's just started playing for the national team. So he's big, strong. He might be the new Gignac, only hopefully one that's consistent and keep being good year after year. But yeah, no, he came from second division, fairly unknown. He was a great scorer there, and he plays for Montpellier, who is top of the league right now. It's pretty amazing. It's coming out of nowhere, very much. And a lot of young players, especially young midfields, that a lot of clubs in Europe now want to get. And so Giroud, as I said, very tall, very strong, and he scored a hat-trick. Now that's his second in form. He's a top scorer in France. Plays for the national team now. I don't know if he's gonna be a regular, but seems to be that he's gonna have a good shot there.
Yeah.
So there you go, the new face of French attack right there.
Brilliant. And that
concludes Team of the Week.
Is our Team of the Week and our
good.
Tube pod.
Our tube casts.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. A bit more visual, a bit more magic with arrows moving everywhere and cards flipping and
pretty amateurish mouse pointer action.
Yes.
You can thank me for that. I am a master of the mouse pointer on videos.
I can see that we should train maybe you should kind of do some stretching exercises and stuff for your hand and fingers.
Yeah.
And make sure you control all your moves out there. And
do you know what? Back in the old days, you used to be able to replace your mouse pointer with funny animations and things. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I used to have Homer Simpson on there.
Can't you do that?
As a mouse pointer. We might be able to do that. Maybe I could mix it up.
The dinosaur one day. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was useless, but that was fun. Yeah, we should do that next time.
Let's see what I can get for next time.
Nice.
Anyway, until then.
Can you put your face there as a pointer?
I could. I'll try.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
People would love to see that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe not.
Okay. Well, this concludes again this TubeCast. We'll see you guys next week for a new Team of the Week in Ultimate Team. Bye.